GPS is Gigi's personal services. She's an RV expert with over 3 decades of experience. To learn more, visit thervadvisor.com today.
This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. My guest today is Jim Phelan. Jim is from Airskirts. And Airskirts, let's see, looking at the background there, from what I can see, it looks like a lovely day. Jim tells me he's in southeastern Connecticut. Hey, Jim, how are you?
Tom, I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, it is a lovely day here. We're at Aces RV Park in East Lyme, Connecticut. Fall foliage is starting to turn. It's beautiful, unseasonably warm, and things are going well.
Yeah. We're approaching, we're approaching late October, and you say temperatures are right around 70. That's really nice.
Very unusual, but nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, is that near home for you, or are you a little ways away from home?
This is actually the town I grew up in. So East Lyme is a very small town in the southeastern part of Connecticut. Pretty much only known for Lyme disease, unfortunately.
Oh, no kidding! Wow. Geez,
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry to hear that. But it looks like a beautiful place nonetheless. But so that's not probably all that far from where, Hartford or something? That's kind of close.
About an hour from Hartford. Yeah, we're in the New Englandy part of Connecticut, close to Providence and New Haven as well.
Oh, okay, New Haven. Yeah. So I'm looking behind you and I see Airskirts, and I see the beautiful. Is that an Airstream behind? What is that behind you?
This is my Airstream. Yep.
Yeah.
Our product works with all sorts of RVs, but this is mine. So this is a 2016 27 FB International Airstream.
Wow. Look at that. Beautiful. Yes. Boy, I'll tell you, those Airstreams are just, you get it. It's just chock full of envy when I see one of those, because they're just they're so beautiful, and they're so distinct with that chrome and that look that they've had for decades.
Absolutely.
Just beautiful. Airskirts, RV skirts, and tell us a little bit what these do exactly, and give us the backgrounder on this stuff.
Yeah, sure. So there's a little bit of context. Well, if you go to any RV park in a cold climate, you're going to see people with what are called skirts, and these are typically a thin piece of vinyl where the owner has drilled, probably several hundred holes into their trailer and snapped a piece of vinyl around the trailer. Sometimes you'll see people do it with styrofoam, kind of a do-it-yourself solution, or with hay bales. This protects the underside of the RV from wind blowing underneath it, thus, siphoning the air off of the water pipes and also siphoning off a lot of heat energy. So skirts are meant in general to protect the undercarriage of an RV from freezing. Now, Airskirts was an idea I came up with because, like you said, beautiful trailer. I did not want to drill 400 holes into it. And I didn't want to do the kind of messy styrofoam solution or another DIY solution because I needed to be a lot more portable. And also some parks don't allow it. So I came up with this idea of doing inflatable tubes. And these tubes, which is our patent pending system, are laid around the perimeter of the RV, and they blow up and they just pinch themselves into the RV. There's no installation required. And by virtue of trapped air being a really good natural insulator, these military grade tubes end up insulating a lot more and retaining a lot more heat and energy under the RV. So preventing freezing pipes and preventing energy loss. And we recommend people use them in the summer as well for cooling reasons.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. And it obviously, it sounds like, there's a lot of technical knowledge that goes into this. Is that some of your background? Do you have some engineering background, or
Yeah, so I'm a software engineer by trade, and I lived in New York City for a long time doing tech startups. And in like, I guess 2015, 2016, I sold my house and all my stuff and started doing this. So it is my first business that does a physical consumer product. But I have a little bit of background in engineering, and my brother Dave is a physical product engineer, and he's been critical in helping me start this thing up.
Wow, that's great. So it's interesting how one line of engineering, can sort of translate to other areas. It's that same mindset, right? I mean, it's the same kind of muscles you're using to kind of pull this a thing like this together, huh?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, problem solving. I think, people who do a lot of problem solving see a problem and, like me, get kind of annoyed until it's fixed, and then we show up and try to do something about it. And in this case, it's something that really resonated with people.
Terrific. Airskirts.com is the place to go to check it out and learn more about it. Airskirts.com. Please check it out. Jim Phelan is our guest. He is the founder of the company. And we're going to come back and chat a little bit more with Jim right after this break. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. Stay tuned. Back in a moment.
The rights of the RV enthusiast are important. That's why the RV Advisor has built a nationwide network of RV owners, empowering you with advice you can trust. Visit thervadvisor.com.
We are back on the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. My guest is Jim Phelan, and he is the founder of Airskirts. And Airskirts is a product that we were talking in the break, Jim. Though designed for kind of colder weather, it's not just for cold weather anymore, so to speak, right?
Yeah, that's one of the great features of our design is that unlike traditional skirting that you would see at a campground solely in the winter, because we offer so much insulation, we recommend our customers use this year round. What that's going to do, Tom, is air conditioning, when you're running it, obviously air sinks and lots of energy is lost through RV floors. Now, in an Airstream like this, that's a extra lot of energy because the floors aren't insulated. And that is why the product works, and that's why it works well. It works on all trailers, fifth wheels, motor coaches. When you're running your AC and your cold air is sinking to the floor and seeping through it, we're going to create a cushion of cool air underneath. It's also going to keep debris out of there, raccoons, goblins, whatever. But it's going to save you on some of your energy costs as well. Keep you a little bit more comfortable and possibly keep your air conditioner from cycling on so much, and maybe even extend the life of it a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, I know that you can show us a little bit in some detail, take us for a little walk around there and show us some things. So let's do that.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, so these the kind of the anatomy of the system is first and foremost a series of tubes, and these are military grade tubes. They are made out of a tarpaulin PVC material, Tom. So that's a nylon canvas that's coated in PVC. Very similar to the material you'll see on like a Zodiac military grade watercraft. They have a number of valves. For those who are viewing this on video, this is actually an older version of our design. This is our V4 version. The V5 has a couple new updates like D-rings at the end. I don't get to spoil myself with the newest stuff because we have to send them to customers. These valves here you'll see are HC. You'll see these on inflatable kayaks. We have a special safety feature on the end that's a pressure over release valve should you put too much air pressure in. These things were heat welded and warranted for 5 years. So in theory, you could actually use these to lift something off the ground like a trailer, if not for that particular valve. And then we have a number of other accessories that go with this as well. So here are tire wedges. Again, for those listening, this is a triangular shaped inflatable. These go between your tires. And I'll also show you on the other side of the trailer, I have our tire covers installed. So these are kind of optional, the tire wedges. They add an additional amount of insulation. And then we have other accessories as well. This particular Airstream, because it's a bit older, we have a pillow that fills the gap below the stair. So that's not necessary for newer model Airstreams because they have changed that.
Yeah.
But as you can see, these tubes just come in various lengths, right? So when we set up for a particular camper, we just sell a kit based on the overall length and how high it sits off the ground. And now if you were in a fifth wheel, we'd have a big 34-inch diameter tube instead of these 22-inch diameter tubes. And you can see we have some tire covers here as well, which we also sell independently.
Wow, boy, that is something. For you folks just listening, I think Jim did a terrific job of sort of, giving you the play-by-play, if you will. You listen to a ball game or something, painting pictures with words. That's terrific. It really is, something that obviously the value is obvious, and something that you want to check out. Now you can go to airskirts.com and check it out. When people go to visit the site, Jim, tell them a little bit about what they'll see, what they can find.
Yeah, so the first thing you'll see is some imagery, of course, showing the product in action, and then you'll see a quick video, just about 99 seconds to watch. It's called Airskirts Explained in 99 Seconds. If you've gotten this far in the podcast, you've probably heard a lot of what it has to say, but it's a real quick way to learn about the product and how it works and why it works. And then you'll see some kit selection wizard, which lets you figure out which of the Airskirts kits you need, as well as, FAQ, general stuff you'd see on a website, stuff about our company. And then there's some videos as well that show the product being used and set up.
Great. So the website's a big help for folks that want to learn more about it. It's airskirts.com. That's airskirts.com. Jim, let me ask you, what's next for you guys? I mean, I'm assuming that this kind of a business is always it's an evolution. It's always new things coming down the line, new thoughts about products that can be helpful, and do you kind of eat, sleep, and drink this kind of stuff?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, it's all I do, actually. So that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. We have a lot of stuff in the works. Right now, we are so overwhelmed with orders that we're just growing staff and adding capacity every day. But coming from us next year, we're doing a lot of interesting things. Some will be inflatable related, some will be climate related. No products that I've developed to the point where I want to share them yet because I don't think they're ready for prime time, but we are hoping to get there soon and offer some other stuff to accommodate, lifestyle, climate control, and that sort of thing as it pertains to RVs and, tiny houses too.
Yeah, and you'd mentioned a couple things patent pending, and I know that we've had guests on before that are, have had products patented, and it is a process. It's
very long one.
Yeah, it's a long one, and it can get costly. But it's obviously, at the end of the day, it's certainly worth it when you have a patent on something, and anything after that kind of follows it, possibly by a competitor, pays the piper, if you will, I guess is how that works. That's a kind of a good thing. Getting something patented. I'm assuming, this is a kind of thing that you have to, like you said, it takes time. Do you find that, are you confident that all these things that you're doing that are patent pending will reach the finish line?
It's always hard to say, and so working in software, I mean, you could submit 20 patents and get back to. But I think the thing with us right now, and the thing that's really important to us is just building the brand name and the goodwill around it. I think we're so well known at this point, which is great and amazing. And I love my customers for that reason, because they spread the word and they're really passionate about the product. The Airskirts as a brand really does resonate with people as the inflatable skirt. There's no other one like they're out there. But yeah, the patent stuff is important, and we'll submit more as we develop new products. But most of our energy is spent around trying to foster a sense of community and goodwill around the product. We're not doing this at the end of the day to become millionaires. We're doing this because we're trying to improve people's lives and do it with a product that really helps. So, that's sort of the core value of the company. So, things like patents are nice, things like making a lot of money are nice. But what's really nice is having customers who call me up and say, I just installed this. I absolutely love it. It's a lifesaver. I mean, that's what makes me live from day to day and have a little joy in my life.
That's great. That, and wow, that's, being a good citizen, number one, is great, because, that feeling of appreciation, it means so much. And I certainly appreciate that. So next, just wanted to, just sort of find out a little bit about, last thing, I guess, is just the company itself. Obviously someone there is holding a camera.
That would be Jennifer, our
Jennifer.
very, very wonderful salesperson who is helping me out today. And
hi, Jennifer.
like
how are you? You can
nod
the camera, Jennifer, if you can hear me. But so how many folks are working with Airskirts?
So when you look at our full-time employees, just around 5 at the moment as we continue to grow. If you look at our network of contractors, probably more like 20. It's just sort of how we're structured at the moment, but we're actively hiring right now because this year, I think relative to COVID and a lot of other things, our sales are just up so dramatically from our first year in business. So we're a new company, we're growing fast and adding a lot of people all the time.
What year is this now for the company?
This is year 2.
This is year 2. Okay, got it. Year 2. All right. Well, you guys are doing great. And it's certainly a model for young companies getting going in year 2. They've really got a name for themselves. It's Airskirts. Airskirts is the name of the company. You can go to airskirts.com to learn more. Jim, thank you so much for taking time out to join us. We really appreciate it. Love to have you on again.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Jim Phelan, our guest. He is the founder of Airskirts. Again, it's airskirts.com. We're going to take a break. We'll be back to wrap things up right after these words. Stay tuned.
Here are 5 words every RV enthusiast should know: advocacy, community, education, resources, rewards. That's what the RV Advisor was built on, along with protecting your rights. Visit thervadvisor.com.
We are back on the RV Advisor podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Look who it is. It's Neve Carey. Neve Carey Zacco over in the Emerald Isle, Ireland. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. So now tell us.
We sure are. We're in Galway, Tom. We're in Galway City.
Oh, wow.
I'm with my friend Ashley.
Hey, there we
Isn't
go.
it lovely?
Look at that.
Lovely day. Lovely day.
How's it going? It looks like a lovely day. And what's that place with the big red door next to you? What is that? What is the
So this is called the King's Head.
The King's Head.
So this is the King's Head. So this is called Shop Street, Galway. So you see here, it's a beautiful cobblestone area.
Wow.
With stores and pubs and all sorts of fun stuff. But yeah, so this is where I am from.
Yes.
Where I grew up and where I spent many nights going out and many days shopping. So every time I come here, I really do feel at home, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to be here.
That is wonderful. And I understand that you actually even ran into some RVers already.
I did. It's funny. As I have come over the years since I have moved to the United States, every single time I come, I see more and more RVs on the road. Now, obviously small, nothing like you would see on the roads in the United States, but like vans turned into RVs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to like just kind of pop in and talk to those people and see how they kind of do things here in Ireland. So yes, I met 2 families on the road, one actually from the United States that came here and bought an RV, which they will sell when they leave, but they are popping all over Ireland, visiting all the main attractions, going to all the main towns, and yeah, just doing their thing. And it's funny because unlike the United States, like where you have to like go into parks and pay, there's a lot of places open here. Like you can go like to a parking lot by a beach, you can go to a parking lot by like a national attraction and not have to pay, which is, it's wild, but I get it because here they don't see that a lot. So it's not become something they have charged for yet.
Mhm.
So for our lovely guests that watches on the RV Advisor, I implore you to come to Ireland and take advantage of the fact that they have not yet began charging for such a thing. They are having such blast. Things cost a lot of money here. B&Bs, Airbnbs, hotels, things like that. So it is interesting to see people have a different take and go a different direction here. But it's nice to also see that, it's an RV. So it suits us, Tom.
That's just absolutely great. And I'll tell you, I just love the background.
Yeah.
We're seeing just that little corner of the world.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's just great. And it's just one little.
It's very
corner.
old.
Yeah.
It's very, very old. Now,
is that a particular?
For a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn you around. So this back in the day, or not back in the day, like freaking 2 years ago, wasn't tarmac. So it was all this beautiful old cobblestone.
Wow.
And years and years and years ago, I can send you some pictures, but this was where carts used to come by, and not cars, but it used to be a road way, way back in the day. But since then, the road is down here and you can wrap right around the entire of Galway city centre. So it's very interesting to see how they've made it just more for like public and walking, because all of these lovely little stores here are businesses, restaurants, so on and so forth. So
right. No, I see the donut. The donut.
Adapted.
Yeah, I see the donut shop, and I see the barber shop, and of course
the
bar.
And it's funny to see how they've adapted over the years. But I mean, it's nice. This weekend they open up. As far as COVID is concerned, they open up nightclubs and bars, kind of more like fully, and they're like just kind of loosening out a small bit here. I think they're about 95% vaccinated here in Galway, or in Ireland, should I say?
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay.
So it's really fun to see things liven up here, for sure.
Yeah, that's terrific. Now, let me ask you, the section that you're in, that little area that you're in, is that a little district, or is there a name for that area?
Yes, there is actually, Tom. What a great question. This is called the Latin Quarter.
Oh, okay.
The Latin Quarter. Yeah. And it's fun because, let me turn you around again.
Yeah.
But all the way down here, there's so the Cladder Ring, which many of our listeners are probably very aware of, is an Irish staple as far as a ring. It is a hand holding two hearts. It's kind of like a love symbol.
Yes.
Should we say?
Yeah.
It was made it came from the Latin Quarter. So it's nice to recognize that here. Actually, you know what? There's a picture of it right across here in a jeweler's. So you see in the middle there. That
there it is. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. For the folks just listening, I know that a lot of our audience just listens. If you do get a chance, hop on the video version of this podcast for the obvious reason. You can see all this great stuff, but I can describe it in some degree in that it is very sort of, as you would anticipate or expect, I guess, old British style, British Isles style, stuff you'd see in movies from, and it almost looks like it's from the late 1800s, early 1900s. The kind of architecture.
Yeah, absolutely, Tom. Yeah.
And it's just beautiful, and a lot of color. What's interesting?
A lot of color.
Yeah,
a lot of color. They try every single building do something different as far as color. So it's very vibrant. It's fun.
I may have mentioned this one time. I know we do have to go, but I might have mentioned this one time before. Of course, as you know, when I was a kid, I grew up in my dad's movie theater, and we used to play these things. They were called short subjects. So before the movie, you'd see this little travel log or a cartoon or something before the main movie started. And there was one that was called Green for Ireland, which I really loved. In fact, I still have the 35 millimeter print.
I'm dying to see that someday, Tom.
I'm sure the color's washed out of it now because it's so old, but it would be great to see it. But Green for Ireland, and one of the things they mentioned, and of course they were hitting more so on Dublin than Galway, but they talked about the colors of the doors and how vibrant they were and how different all the doors were. They all had different colors, and it was, the residents took such great pride in the colors of their doors. And I
really did.
Yeah, and I see that just in that little corner where you are. There's just so much color, eye-popping color, reds and yellows and greens and blues, and it's just wonderful.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I got to get over there. I would.
Well, you have summer to stay, Tom. That's for sure.
I'll stow away next time with you guys, Neve. I'll fly cargo.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah, stick me in with all the the baggage, and I'll make it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll just get a Dramamine drip, and I'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, Neve, we'll let you go. Thanks for hopping on.
So nice to see you, Tom.
Say that again.
It was so nice to see you.
Yeah, always great to see you as well, and enjoy your time over there. And we'll chat with you on the next show as well from there. For Neve Carey-Zacco, I'm Tom Alexander, reminding you, visit rvaca.org to register your unit, rvaca.org. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.